The Record Store Black Friday list for 2025 just dropped last week. I made a video about my initial impressions, but after getting a lot of comments about releases that I've never heard of, I figured I'd go back through the list and talk about some other releases. a-ha, Take On Me 40th Anniversary EP. This one's interesting. It's 8 versions of Take On Me. I don't know who this is for. It's an RSD exclusive, 3,000 copies, so 3,000 and it's done. So everybody who's looking for the 8 different versions on one release, get there early on Black Friday. There's the 40th Anniversary extended version. Don't know what they could add. Feels a little late. 1984 single version, 85 instrumental, 2018 symphonic, 2017 acoustic, 2017 MTV Unplugged, and 1991 live in South America. And listen, I like Take On Me. It's a good song. It's an iconic song from 1984. I don't know who's looking for this, but there's something for everybody. So this is probably for somebody. Bluey, the 5th birthday Zoetrope edition. A limited edition Zoetrope celebrating Bluey's 5th birthday. Bluey's cool. I don't know if they have songs or if this is instrumental music. I don't really watch Bluey, but from clips I've seen, it seems like a great show. And it also seems like they do usually have a lot of either shaped singles or Zoetropes. So pretty cool for Bluey. Might be a little disappointing for a kid because they're gonna want to look at it and expect to see it happening and not realize that you have to film a video. They're not going to understand frame rates. They're not going to want to get into it. Benson Boone Pulse. This is his 2023 EP. Electric Yellow and Bright Blue Splatter. Cool. People were talking about it. All you Benson Boone heads out there, 6,000 copies. So I feel like that's pretty good. People will probably be able to get their hands on it. Eric Carr from Kiss. He's got 2 releases, and I was confused because Unfinished Business, I feel like I'd seen this cover at a previous record store day recently, and then I realized that both of these are liquid filled. So they're limited run, regional focus, 500 each, and they're liquid filled, which is cool. I have a few liquid filled, pretty much all from Bad World. Most other companies with their liquid filleds, it can tend to be overpriced. Listen, I'm not the biggest Kiss person. I don't know all about all the Kiss lore. I feel like I've heard that they do squeeze their fans with a lot of releases. Could be more of that, but cool. I don't think I've ever seen a liquid release for Record Store Day. So that's pretty cool. Dead Milkmen. This is one that people mentioned a lot. I don't think I've ever heard of Dead Milkmen. Big Lizard in My Backyard, 40th Anniversary. It says that it's indie rock, funk, country, also punk. Kind of seems like all things that I would like. Okay, it is something that I would like. 3,000 copies, RSD first, so there is the potential that it could be repressed in the future. I do like when anniversary editions, there's at least something different. It says that it includes some alternate takes on the songs. There's a custom windowed die-cut lenticular cover. Cool stuff like that for anniversary releases versus when it's just the record. Cool packaging is respectable, especially for an anniversary release. Billie Eilish live, a lot of people were talking about this. I think this is going to be very popular. 10-inch, 20,000 copies. It's also an RSD first from Amazon Songline series. I don't know what other artists have done Amazon Songline series. I know that the Lumineers have, and I guess Billie Eilish. I like physical releases of new recordings of old famous songs. I mean, these aren't all that old, of Billie Eilish's songs. Pretty cool release. Fred Again. I don't really know anything about Fred Again. I'm pretty sure that these were supposed to be either at the last Record Store Day or maybe Record Store Day Black Friday a year ago, and then they were silently taken out. Hopefully they get released this time for all the Fred Again fans. A Charlie Brown Christmas 60th Anniversary pop-up gatefold. Now, notoriously, this is a very hard album to get. They've done very few variants, and that is also sarcasm. I mean, it's a great album. It's a great album. The special thing with this is that it's a pop-up. It's a pop-up gatefold, which I think is very cool. I have 1 or 2 pop-ups that I don't think I've made videos about. Cool packaging experience, I think, makes something like this worth it. I'm surprised they also didn't make it a specific color. They might be running out of colors because they've done a lot of re-releases of A Charlie Brown Christmas. George Harrison, Living in the Material World, 7600 RSD exclusive Zoetrope picture disc. They've been re-releasing all of his Zoetropes. They just did All Things Must Pass. And also, I think there was a huge push earlier this year or last year for the 50th anniversary of Living in the Material World. So for everybody who's into all the George Harrison Zoetropes, Living in the Material World. The Head and the Heart got a release. Now, this was one of 1, 2, or 3 releases that were not there initially when the release dropped. And they thought we wouldn't notice, but I noticed. The Head and the Heart, Ghost in the Machinery. I think it's a companion album for their recent album. Collection of entirely new arrangements and acoustic reinventions of favorite tracks from their most recent studio album. That's cool. That's almost along the lines of like Billie Eilish doing the purely vocal one for her recent album. Those are cool releases where you're making something specifically for Black Friday. Icona Pop, I love it, featuring Charli XCX. This is another one that wasn't there when it first dropped. No description, but it does say that there's 4,400 of them and it's an RSD exclusive. Looks like it's in PVC, which sucks. Don't know anything else about it. We love Charli XCX. Should be a cool release. Jelly Roll, beautifully broken, picking up the pieces. I'm not a big Jelly Roll person, but I think this will probably be popular. There's 8,000 copies. And I like when artists release the deluxe version of their album as a separate version for physical media. So you don't need to buy the same album again that, yes, includes the deluxe tracks, but then it's also the same rest of the album. I like when they just release the deluxe tracks separate, especially when they have basically a whole album's worth of songs for the deluxe. There's like 13 songs on it. I don't know if some of them are just kind of remixes with features, because a few of them have features. Thanks, Jelly Roll, for all you Jelly Roll heads. Bruno Mars, It's Better If You Don't Understand. His debut EP, pressed on vinyl for the first time ever. Doesn't say what color. Maybe red, based on the way that it looks. 13,000. So they're definitely expecting this to be a popular one. And rightfully so. Bruno Mars slaps. Post Malone, Long Bed. I feel like he's released a few versions of this, and I feel like he did another Record Store Day one. But this is, again, the 9 tracks from the deluxe version, and it's on a neon orange. So that's cool. I like that. It's kind of a companion album, the deluxe album. I'm not going to pick it up. Only 5,000. That seems pretty small for Post Malone. Prince and the Revolution, Around the World in 80 Days. They do release Prince music a lot on Record Store Day, I've heard. And by I heard, I mean I watched a TikTok about it last Record Store Day, that the mixing sucked, or something was wrong or bad about it, or maybe the packaging sucked. This one's a 7-inch box set with, I believe, 5 7-inches. So that sounds cool and interesting. I also like the quantity is 1,985 because it's 1985. So for the 40th anniversary. So I think that's kind of cool. It's a pretty low number, but I would also assume making a 7-inch box set is a little bit more tedious than just classic stuff. So it's probably gonna be expensive, but limited. And if you're a Prince fan, Role Model. This is another popular one. Role Model, Kansas Anymore, The Longest Goodbye. This, I believe, is a deluxe version, 2 LP, which includes 4 live performances from the album and a special collaboration with Leve. So nothing against this release because of what I said about the releases of deluxe stuff. And Role Model's cool. He's got that song about Sally. Sun Protector's great. 3,000, RSD exclusive. I think they probably will have underestimated this one. I think this one's going to be big. I'm not going for it. Maybe. 3,000 for Role Model as he's on the up and up. This will be interesting. This one will be an interesting one to see. The Rent soundtrack, 4,500, RSD exclusive, 2 LP. One of them is Milky Clear and one is Translucent Red. That's cool. I believe it's the movie soundtrack. A lot of people were talking about this one. Cool release. I don't know if there's any other musicals or musical movies with releases recently. And it's a good show. And we love Jonathan Larson. I already talked about the Wicked picture disc, but Crosley is also releasing 2 turntables, pink one for Glinda and a green one for Elphaba, and these are their classic suitcase turntables. While it's hard to recommend a suitcase turntable, 2,500 of each. I'm not sure if they've done this in the past. I don't feel like I've seen them since I've been going to Record Store Day the past few years. Kind of a cool concept, maybe for somebody who's just getting into records, somebody who likes Wicked, wants to be able to listen to the new Wicked soundtrack that they then pick up. I guess this is better than them doing the mini turntables with like the tiny little releases that they did for like the Beatles and the Doors and a lot of classic stuff. A cool limited item for people who are either interested in Wicked or that side of record collecting. I don't know who's collecting turntables, considering it's a suitcase record player. I would hope that it's a decent price. And finally, one that I probably got the most amount of comments on was Ween, Shinola, Volume 1, RSD exclusive, 6,000 copies. It's a compilation of remastered demos, B-sides, alt versions, recorded between 1990 and 2003, and it's celebrating its 20th anniversary. A cool colored vinyl, and a lot of people are saying Ween. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that much about Ween. If you're a true Ween head, let me know what Ween album I should listen to. Also, what genre is Ween? Oh yeah, this is great. Oh, Ween did Ocean Man. Ocean Man. Yeah. Okay, I take it back. I do know Ween. 6,000, RSD exclusive. Probably won't be too hard to get your hands on, unless it ends up being one of those ones that everybody wants. In that case, 6,000, that shouldn't be too hard. But if you don't get it because you're relaxed about it because of me, you can't blame me. So those were some releases that people had mentioned. Are there any other releases that I missed? We'll see if I can cut this down into one video. Just kind of wanted to ramble a little bit. If you watched to the end, comment, I made it to the end. Comment Ocean Man. Maybe I should just start making long form. I probably should have made this a YT video. Let me know what else I should talk about, Record Store Day wise.